Everyone, today I'm in my kitchen because I want to show you a technique real quick that we use a lot in the flower shop world. We use a lot of plaster of Paris when we need to secure branches in a tall container. Oftentimes these branches get too top heavy, especially if you're putting flowers or things on them like I am. And so we will do some plaster of Paris technique in a container, and then this container will drop into another prettier container. So what you'll need, of course, is your branches. These branches I've had for a while. I'm going to spray them an even whiter kind of shellac look. And then the plaster of Paris, I get the dry mix at Lowe's. I think it's about $5. And then your container that you're going to use. I think it's important to not get anything too tall, because then that just means another thing you have to try and cover up. So, and you really don't need a lot. The weight of the plaster when it's dry will help secure it from tumbling over. So I picked this one from Lowe's. It's 2.5 quart steel pail, and it's probably no more than 5 inches tall. You can use any containers from your kitchen. Just keep in mind, again, to kind of keep this small and not too big. Often, I will use something to secure my branches, because if I just put the branches in there in the liquid, of course they're going to tump over like that. There's no support. But if I put some sort of styrofoam in the base before I pour my plaster, that'll just help keep everything in place. Another thing you can do is wire across the top, maybe wire everything. But this is just, I found the easier way. Piece of styrofoam with major hot glue right there. I'm going to stick my branches in there, put a little hot glue at their base. I just wanted to show you right here. This is what it's going to look like. This is so heavy. I've used these flamingos 100 times, knowing that I'm going to cover this base. So don't worry about what your container looks like or what it is. Just try to just remember to keep it squatty, kind of something short, nothing too big. Shot of kind of that last step I talked about, where I have the styrofoam, the glue, only got one chance to shove that thick branch in, and fortunately I did it okay. And then just a lot of hot glue there at the top. So my next step will be to make the plaster of Paris, and if you can make pancakes, you can do this plaster of Paris. It's fun. So I'm not going to follow directions. I just think I've done it enough. You want the consistency of pancakes, and the lumps in it are okay in this because we're not going to eat it. But it does say 2 parts of plaster to 1 part water. Okay, so I'm just going to mix it. Probably will take, this size 2.5 quart will probably take on the majority of it. That is the bad thing about plaster. It doesn't go very far, but I'm only going to do half this bucket today because I have a pretty big piece of styrofoam in there. So I can see right now it's real doughy, not runny enough. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more water. Hope you guys can see this. I just mix it with my hands. I don't know. I really think that when you learn the techniques that we were taught in the flower shop world, that anybody can do anything. I think it just comes down. I think that's where people get aggravated. Is because someone might try to do the branches and they keep falling over, or they need that stability in something and they just don't know. Well, we were taught, the tricks of the trade. So here we go. So you can see it's staying on my hand. It's not too running. I like this consistency. I'll kind of just get those last little, there's some pieces down at the bottom. I always use a plastic bowl too. It comes out clean. So that's pretty smooth, but I can tell right now that's not going to be enough. So go ahead and get another big piece. So let's see, almost 3/4 of it. And then so far I've used this entire cup of water. So again, it's 2 parts of the plaster to, 2 parts plaster to 1 part water. Branches were very top heavy. I might want to fill that up and then just pour that all right. You'll see it's lumpy. I mean, I'm not worried about the lumps. That will all dry. Now what I should have worried about is it getting on my branches. I don't like that, because then I have to go back and peel that off. or not. Do not love the color of this branch. It's just off-white. I want to shellac it white. Okay. Just keep scooping that out. So that was plenty for this. Again, if I was going to have taller branches, I would show you, but I can't. It'll spill over. This will probably be dry in a couple of hours. After a couple hours, then I'll take it out and start spray painting all of this. So there you go.